Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. So in the previous video, hope you guys remember, we have created a new API where we can get all the details from our employee. Means we can able to fetch those details, and we have created an API like slash get employees. So whenever we give the request as employees in our URL, we used to get all the details of an employee. So in today's video, or in this video, we are going to create a one more API where in the previous video we have created a dummy employee details, correct? So now we are not going to create that dummy one, so we are going to remove that. In that place we are going to add our own data, and that we are displaying, or we are adding those employee data and we are getting those employee data by ourselves instead of hard coding. So let me open that code which we did in our previous video. So here in com.company.service impl, if you expand this, here we have employee service impl class. So here this we have uh, written or hard coded by ourselves. So I'll remove these two, and I want one, so that I need to get the format how we can able to add the data. So I'll keep it one and we'll see next. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we need to create a one more API. Okay, one more API or one more service that which helps us to add employees. To add employees, here we have an impl method where here get employee method where the employee list will be displayed, or the employee details will be displayed. So now I'll go to this employee service. In the service package, here create a new method where you need to perform operation. So what are the method I need to perform over here? I need to perform add employee method. So let's say like this, public. So we need to mention what is the return type of this method, right? So as of now I'll keep the return type as employee. So when the employee is added, we'll display that employee details again. So public employee return type. So let's say add employee. Okay, so open and close parenthesis, and here I'm giving an object of an employee. So I'll tell you why I'm doing this. Okay, don't worry. So let's say employee, this object I'm giving a small case, employee. So this employee, this is the employee, or this is the object of this employee class. So here we have a class in our entities, right? So it is that one. Okay, so this is the method. So if I save this, as you can see, we'll get the error in employee service impl class. That's because we have defined a method in employee service that has to be implemented, right? So if you hover on this error means, you can see add unimplemented method. So just select that. Hey, here as you can see, that method has been populated over here or overwrite. So let me remove this command. Okay, and here how we can able to add the employees. It's very simple. Where we are adding the employees over here, we to the list. Same thing, just one line of code where we have to write over here. That is like this. So employee list dot add. So inside this, what I'm adding the object over here, the same object we have employee object, right? So that I'm adding. After this, give a semicolon, and in the return null, I'm going to return this object itself. So I'll tell you what is this. Don't worry. So just understand this line. Okay, so I'm adding the employee details to employee list over here, and you can tell this is an object. How can we able to store data in employee list? I'll show you over here. Okay, so first and foremost thing, we have only one data over here. When we run this list, we can able to get only single data, that you already know. Okay, so and also I need to run this method as well. So to run this method, we don't have any API in our controller. So let's create a API over here. So let's expand this, open this controller, here create a new API. So this time, see here we have used get mapping, right, to get the data. Now we need to add a data, add a employee. So annotation will be changed. The annotation, and the annotation which we are going to use is, that annotation is called at post. Means post what are the data we are giving from our client, that will be post to our database or to our backend application. Okay, so we have to do like this. Okay, let's say. So first we'll write a method, then we'll annotate. Okay, so here I'll just type as public, public, and I'll give you return type as customer only. Why? Because when we add the data, that same data has to be repopulated again. Okay, so let's say of customer type. Sorry, I'm giving customer over here. Employee. So let's say add employee. So here what I'm going to do is, so let's say give at request body. So what is this request body means? We are requesting our client or a front end to give our data, so that whatever the data you give, will send it to a method, and that data will be passed over here. Okay, so that's why we are mentioning as at request body. So let's say here employee, and object of employees employee. So this we need to import it, request mapping. Okay, sorry, sorry, not request. So it's a request body that we need to import it. Okay, like this. Okay, done. Now open and close parenthesis or log bracket here. So now as you can see, it is throwing an error. Why? Because we need to give a return statement. So let's say return return return. Okay, here what you can do is, here we have our service, right? Employee service, same thing. Whatever the method we have written in the employee service IMPL, right? It has to be here only. So return employee service dot, as you can see, we have a method called get employees, and we have a new method called add employee. So like this. So when I click over here and give a semicolon, so this is the method which will accept one object. So same as I told over here, right? This is a method, it is going to get a parameter as an object like this. So let me save now. Okay, so here let's give a mapping, or let's make this method as a API. So at annotation, let's say post mapping. Here I'll give a method name or the API name as add employee. So when I run this, I can able to add data for employee. Okay, let's import this post mapping. Okay, we don't have any error as of now, so let's save everything and we'll run this application. I hope you guys understood. Let me repeat it again quickly. So we have created an API. So in the employee service IMPL, we have a method called add employee, and that add employee will expect one object to be sent. So we are passing an argument as employee. So what is this employees? I'll just tell you right now. I mean, in couple of. So now let's run this application and we'll see. So right button over here, go for run as Java application. Here my project is about to start now, and you can observe in the console. Here I need to select company application as well. Okay, as you can see, our application started perfectly. We need to check whether we have any error or not, so that we don't want any error while executing our application. So our application started in the port number yeah, it's still starting. Yeah, port number 8080. So now go to your browser. As of now, I'll open Chrome browser now. Okay, so here what you can do is, you have three APIs totally. Okay, let me open my Eclipse again. So you have three APIs. The first one is hello. Second one is get employees, means when you give slash employees, you'll get all the employees. When you give add employee, you can able to add the employees. So this, we know these two API is going to work already. So to check whether this API is going to work or not, let's go to our Chrome. Okay, so let's say we'll run all three APIs. Localhost colon 8080 slash hello. You'll get hello word text, right? Hello word string. When I give get employees or only employees, as you can see, we can get the data. Okay, last time I have used Brave browser, so this time I'm using Chrome browser. Let me add the Json formatter extension. So if you don't have, just install it. or add the extension Json formatter. If you search this, you can able to find the extension for Chrome at this point. Json formatter chrome.google.com. Just select this and you need to add this to your Chrome. Let's say like this. So here what you need to do, you need to add to the Chrome. So it will take a couple of seconds to add this to your browser. And in my case, it's done. When you get removed from Chrome, it has been added. So let's close this and refresh this. As you can see, the data which we are getting from our application, it is in JSON format, correct? Yes. So now we have only one method, correct? So we have run that hello API and employees API. So what is the one more API which we created? Add employee, correct? So let's give that over here. Add employee. As you can see, when I hit enter, you get plenty of things over here. Why the add employee will expect some input to be passed, means you need to store a data in your application, right? So how can you able to give in your Chrome? So basically you need to have, see, this Chrome can able to, or in your browser can able to get the data, but you cannot able to give the data. We have not yet created any front end. So but we need to run our API. So how we can do that? We have something called Postman. So if you are not yet installed Postman, means I have gave a link in the description so that you can able to install this Postman. So let me, I already gave a brief about Postman in that video as well. It will take about 3 to 4 minutes to get installed. Just go and check that video and come back here. Okay, yeah, my Postman is getting open, so we'll wait to. As you can see, my Postman is about to start now. So okay, so what are the URL I have in my Chrome? Let me take this first. Wait, we have this employees, right? So when we hit that employees, we can able to get the details of an employee in a JSON format. Let's copy this URL. Okay, like this. So Postman, yeah, it started over here. As you can see, it has something called URL over here, right? So the URL or the endpoint which I copied from Chrome, I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, like this. So as you can see, in our controller, we have gave slash employees as get mapping. So means it's a method called get. As you can see, like this, get. Okay, get method. So let's send a request. So when you send the request, you can able to get the data of that Doraemon, see that employee, right, in a JSON format. So now what you want to do, you need to run this API. Which API? Add employee API. What is the mapping? It's a post mapping, but we don't have post mapping in our Chrome. That's why we'll use Postman. So instead of employees, let me add employee. But we need to add an employee, right? How can I able to add? So first and foremost, we need to select it as a post method. So since we have gave post in our controller, correct? So post mapping. So I have selected post, and I need to add it. How to add data? There is a format to add data. So let me copy this. So this is what we get from the data, right? So I need to add the same data, means on different data. So go to the body and here select raw and paste it. And here you can see text, right? So just change it to JSON. Okay. So now ID I'll give it as 2 and employee name I'll give it as let's say this time Red Ranger. Okay, Red Ranger. Experience, let's say you can give anything. I give as 20. So LA address name means Los Angeles. I'll add something, and here I'll change the mail ID. Okay, let's keep it to red@mail.com. Okay, now we have post method, add employee API, and let's send the request. So as you can see, what we added that has been written in the body. So now what we'll do is we'll go to our Chrome. We have this API, right, already employees. So let's refresh this whether we can able to get the data or not. So let's see. Have any error? We check. Okay, as you can see over here, whatever the data which we gave in our from Postman as a red ranger, that data has been added. Cool, correct? Yes. So this is where, see, here let me explain you what is this. See, whenever you want to add a data from your client, so we don't have any front end as of now, right? We are making a backend application as of now, only Java backend application. So later in upcoming videos we'll add a front end like React or Angular, so that we'll see later. But as of now we don't have any client, so this Postman acts as a client. So because we have all the methods like get, post, put, delete, and many more as of now. Okay, let's keep it post and get, that's all. So when I give this body, this all the data which we have, that will go to this endpoint first. So we have API called add employees, right? So let me explain this code. So this is the data which we give. So this data, okay, this data will be converted into a object. Object of what? Object of employee. So I'll go to my Chrome, I mean my Eclipse again. As you can see, when this API is run, it will give a object. See, what are the data we give in our Postman, that will be converted into object like employee. So this object contains all the data, which is what I mean by all the data, all this data: ID, employee name, experience, address, number, email, everything. So that object will be passed to add employee method like this. And when we come to this IMPL, that method only we are going to add over here. So this entire list or this entire data will convert to object, and that object will be passed over here, and that will be added to a list, and later we are going to return that list in the list API or get employee API. Correct? I hope you guys understood. Okay, here I need to tell something. Whether suppose I have a doubt whether this object is going to store all the data, you might have doubt that. So what we'll do, so we'll print the data over here. Before returning, we'll print the data in our console. How to print? System out.println. So let's say system out.println like this, and here just type as employee name plus employee dot. As you can see, when I click on dot, you can able to see get address, get email, get employee name, get experience, get ID, get number. So for understanding purpose or for checking purpose, we'll print only one, which is get employee name. So whatever the data we have in employee object or employee name, that will be displayed. Okay, so now what we'll do is, so first we'll save this so that it is going to be overloaded, I mean loaded by itself. So now I'll go to my Postman again. Let me add a new data. So this time I'll keep as ID as 3. Here instead of Red Ranger, I'll keep it as let's say I'll keep it the employee name as John. Okay, so experience, let me keep as 8. Alright, so here I'll keep it as India, and some random phone number, and let's say John. Okay, so now send the request like this. As you can see, what are the requests I sent, that will be returned over here, means you have no error. And also just go to your Eclipse. In the console, you need to see whether you have employee name as John. See, as you can see, from employee contains all the data. From this employee, we are going to get the name of the employee. So that is what I have displayed. Understood? I hope you guys understood over here. Okay, so what all the APIs we have created? We have created total 3 APIs. First API, just to check, like hello world, like this. So next employee, whatever the data we have added to our application, that will be exposed or fetched from over here like this. And what is the next one? Add employees. So here we'll get employees, so we need to add employees to our application. So we were using post mapping. Using post mapping, we can able to add the employee details, and that will be stored in our application. So as of now, till now, what are the data we are giving, or what are the data we are fetching? We are fetching from the list, right? Array list. So in the next video, okay, in the next video we'll see, we'll interact with the database. Okay, we'll interact with the database. What are the data we need to enter that has to store in a database, and what are the data we need to fetch that has to store in